Welcome back to Season 2 of Community Convener, the official podcast of the Henry County Chamber of Commerce and powered by Georgia Power. I'm Joseph Henning, President and CEO of the Chamber and your host. Today we tune in to another community dialogue featuring Christy Chewning with Central Georgia EMC, Tony Carnell with the Henry County Water Authority, and Thomas Williams with Kaiser Permanente as they discuss the business case for engagement and inclusion, shifting the narrative from the right thing to the smart thing. We also take a moment to sit down with Laura Luker, Director of Tourism, to discuss EchoPark Speedway and its economic impact on Henry County. And finally, we continue the conversation with Brandon Hutchison, Executive Vice President and General Manager for EchoPark Speedway, to talk all things Auto Trader 400. As always, stay tuned to the end for event updates and upcoming ribbon cuttings. So grab a coffee and let's dive in.
Welcome to Community Dialogue, a segment of Community Convener, where we bring business and community leaders together to talk about what truly moves Henry County forward. Thank you to our 2026 sponsor, Kaiser Permanente, for supporting conversations that strengthen workforce, leadership, and community health. February is Black History Month, and today we're focused on the foundation, specifically the business case for engagement and inclusion. This conversation is about shifting the narrative from the right thing to the smart thing. Our guests today are Tony Carnell, General Manager of the Henry County Water Authority, and Thomas Williams, Government Relations and Local Affairs with Kaiser Permanente. Welcome, guys. Tony, can you tell us a little bit about Henry County Water Authority?
So Henry County Water Authority is an organization that's set up. We provide water sewer services for all unincorporated areas, and we serve water to portions of the incorporated areas of all the cities in the county. We have approximately 300 employees. We have 2 water treatment plants and 3 wastewater treatment plants. Our board is appointed by the Board of Commissioners of the county. We have 6 board members, and the board members appoint me as general manager. And so we provide those services, and we plan for 30 years out each time to make sure we have enough water sewer to serve future populations of the county.
Thank you, Tony. Thomas, tell us a little bit about Kaiser Permanente.
Yes, thank you for having me. Kaiser Permanente is the country's largest integrated healthcare organization. We have about 76,000 nurses, 25,000 physicians, 243,000 employees. We're located now in 9 states across the country. We have over 40 hospitals and over 600 medical centers. Here in Georgia, we have 26 medical centers, over 3,000 employees, and we just thank you for having us on the program today.
Thank you. I'm glad to have both of you here. So let's get started. And I just want to get a quick take from both of you. In one sentence, how does having a diverse leadership team impact your bottom line?
Togetherness, I think having a diverse culture, I think it affects our bottom line. We're able to provide much better customer service.
Okay. How about you, Thomas?
And with Kaiser Permanente, it really helps promotes our bottom line with being able to address the social determinants of health. As we know, healthcare is something that everybody does not have access to. So when you have diverse leaders at the helm of the organization, it means that they are attentive to those social determinants of health and try to address them holistically.
Okay. Thank you. Tony, as general manager of the Henry County Water Authority, you lead a complex organization that serves the entire community. How does leadership diversity influence decision making, risk management, and long term performance in a public utility?
Well, when we talk about leadership, I'm going to start with my board. When I was appointed general manager, one of the tasks was to improve diversity, and it takes having a board behind you to support you in being able to launch and support different programs. And one of the programs that our board was pretty persistent on when I started out was having a supplier inclusion policy and policies to support local, small, diverse businesses. So I think, from that aspect, it changed the way that I make decisions in our team as far as how we communicate, how we involve the public, and those programs lead on to other programs. Like to our students, we have different programs from kids, kids fishing day, we have internship programs, and we have a citizens academy and things like that. So basically knowing the tone that the board sets basically helps me to set the tone of the organization. It kind of forces you to look at your purchasing policies, look at your hiring practices and day-to-day operations. And so that's how it's kind of helped me as far as some of my decision making in our long-term performance.
Where have you seen engagement and inclusion directly improve the outcomes?
I think we're starting to see it in our succession planning. We've got programs, third graders, ninth and 10th graders, 11th and 12th graders. 11th and 12th graders, that's the internship partnership that we have with Southern Crescent Technical College. We've seen those kids come through. We teach them interview skills, teach them how to fill out a resume. They learn different parts about the authority. And initially, it was pretty tough getting our employees or managers to accept the buy-in of bringing students in. So after we got some of these students and seeing what they do, some of in our SCADA program, supervisory control and data acquisition, the electrical control systems, some of the students coming out of the school made our management team, they were really impressed by them. So from that, we've hired, I believe, 2 full-time, and we've got 2 part-time and some seasonal students that come back each time. So what I'm starting to see is these programs that we've started is basically the participation rate. The minority is the majority. Is probably about 70%. It's basically a makeup of the school system. So what we're starting to see is some of those students come into the work program, and also some of our hiring practices. We redact certain information from people applying for jobs here. By redacting the information, there's the unconscious bias that managers, supervisors may have in selecting who they interview. That information is redacted, and they don't realize who they're hiring until the day before the employee shows up, and they go through the interview, and it's really changed basically the diversity of our applicants coming into the workforce. And what people are looking for mostly is fairness, and people here that work here and people outside of here, I feel like there's a different level of respect from as far as our hiring practices. Everyone wants the same equal chance, and so we try to give everyone a chance, and we're deliberate about where we advertise our positions, how we go about advertising our positions, and so it has really helped us. And then just basically the culture, we don't just practice our culture, we communicate our culture, and I think we communicate that culture by having a diverse makeup, and it tends to make people want to come work for Henry County Water Authority. And I think in the end, financially, the retention rate, it has helped us. When you onboard an employee, it costs a lot of money to onboard an employee, so you don't want a lot of turnover. So I think financially, it has helped us with our retention rate and employees, and we have a very small turnover rate.
Great. That sounds great. Thomas, Kaiser Permanente operates at the intersection of workforce, health, and community well-being. From your perspective, why is engagement and inclusion not just a values conversation, but a business strategy?
Thank you. That is a profound question because as the country's largest healthcare organization, and by Kaiser Permanente being a provider of healthcare and healthcare insurance as well, having that integrated healthcare delivery service is so important. However, Kaiser Permanente has been on the cutting edge of actually small business growth and small business development, and particularly in women-owned and minority-owned firms. Since our inception, 1945, we have always had a practice of inclusion. And so that really positioned Kaiser Permanente some years ago to help to start an organization called the Billion Dollar Roundtable. Billion Dollar Corporate Roundtable is an organization that makes a commitment each year to do $1 billion of small business contracting with all minority-owned firms, women-owned, Hispanic-owned, veteran-owned firms, disabled veteran-owned firms. And it has been a great program that we do. And it's part of our contracting also. This is where we make the most impact. We require 31% of our contracting opportunities to go to those small businesses. And that has really changed the trajectory of a lot of businesses that want to get into the construction area arena. And we're very proud of that. And bringing it closer to home to Georgia, we recently, we're about to complete a $50 million complete renovation of our Cumberland medical office building on 285. That was a $50 million project. That project was awarded to a woman-owned construction firm, Leapley Construction, here in Metro Atlanta. And that also was the largest award throughout the enterprise right here in Georgia to a woman-owned construction firm. And then that woman-owned construction firm works with other women-owned businesses and minority-owned firms at that 31% to help them. So when we look at the quote by John F. Kennedy that says, "A rising tide lifts all boats," that is very true. And that's something that Kaiser Permanente is committed to, is to not only providing the tide, but also providing the tools and the boat in order to make small businesses sustainable.
Right. One of the things that just kind of comes to mind with this whole thing, both the Water Authority and Kaiser Permanente, the strategies that you both have talked about are very fair and equitable strategies and doing good really for all. So, Thomas, just kind of a little follow up with your strategy because you partner locally and you invest in communities like Henry County. How does that strategy show up in how you partner locally and invest in communities?
Great question. We are very proud of our affiliation with the Henry County Chamber of Commerce. And in doing so, Kaiser Permanente donated $30,000 in the form of an equity opportunity grant to the Henry County Chamber of Commerce Foundation. And the purpose of that grant was to create a program, which they created the mentoring program that could help women-owned and minority firms become stronger. And the mentoring program, actually, some of our colleagues on the board served as mentors. And we're very happy at the results of the first cohort. The first cohort had 10 members, and all 10 members of the cohort were women-owned firms. And that certainly by circumstance, but the Small Business Administration says that over 90% of new small businesses are owned by women. And that's something that we truly respect and recognize. And we congratulate the Chamber on graduating the cohort last week at the Chamber annual dinner, and we were honored and proud to present them with a certificate. Also, those businesses that were impacted, those women-owned businesses that were impacted, it actually changed the trajectory of their companies, and they're doing much better because of the mentoring program. In addition to that, those 10 organizations, small businesses, that cohort created their own ecosystem. So now they're talking amongst each other. They're talking about each other's challenges. Now that's an ecosystem that exists in Henry County that did not exist before. So we're thankful to the leadership of Joe Henning and the board in establishing this program, and Judy McMurtry and doing a great training for the mentors as well. That was required, that the mentors had to be trained in order to be a mentor to the mentees. So we're excited about this partnership, and we're just looking forward to greater things happening as it relates to that.
Yes, the mentorship program has been great, and I've enjoyed getting to know just about everybody that went through the program. So, well, let's shift a little bit and let's talk about inclusion because inclusion has been framed as something businesses should do. What changes when leaders ask, how does this make us stronger, smarter, and more competitive?
I cannot imagine operating without a substantial amount of inclusion. We have what's called the EUM group, Effective Utility Management Groups, and there's a framework that was adopted by the American Water Works Association, American Public Works Association, and some more national affiliates associated with public works. Basically, by adopting that criteria, it helps you to become more effective run utility. So on our committee, it is made up of not just managers and supervisors. It is made up of our field personnel, our customer service representatives, and they all set the goals for the authority each year. So you may have someone on a committee who's not in a manager supervisory role, but they do have some influence on the goals that we set forth for the year. And the appreciation and the morale that this brings to the company, to the organization as a whole is just monumental. And additionally, with inclusion, it's really communication kind of go hand in hand. So my management team, we meet monthly. My executive team, we meet monthly, and we talk regularly. Mentor mentee programs. I'll do a breakfast probably twice a month with certain managers, supervisors, any up and comers, and basically just communicating the culture and the expectations. Anytime I get an opportunity to talk to our employees, whether it's at our internal leadership academy or if it's new employee orientation, just communicating the expectations and letting them know that they're included, they're part of this organization. Any volunteer events we have, like our kids fishing day or Kubahachi Kids, where employees can volunteer, is part of our culture. Once you include your employees into what you're doing and into your culture, I think they become the advocates for the authority. And not only do they become the advocates, the community becomes the advocates when they get out in the community and we share these stories of the things that we do. So that's my thoughts.
What about you, Thomas?
Inclusion is critical in healthcare because of cultural differences and the lens that different cultures see things. And so for Kaiser, it has always been where we want every aspect of our community to be at the table. And as we know in healthcare, that is so important because that drives how we deliver healthcare in our communities. So the mission of Kaiser Permanente is to provide high quality, affordable healthcare services and to improve the health of our members and the communities we serve. So that mission is very important to our leadership. And inclusion is just an aspect of what we do day in and day out in our effort to improve the health of our communities.
So, what is one tangible action that organizations of any size can take to build more engaged and inclusive leadership teams?
Never forget about your people. Don't undervalue your human resources. And the analogy I like to use here is we've got two resources. We've got water resource and we got human resource. That water is no good sitting out in the lake, in the reservoir without the human aspect of it. Our people is what make it happen. Our people are responsible for making that resource what it is. It's similar to Chick-fil-A, their great customer service and their great product. That product without the people doesn't mean anything. So my suggestion is, just never underestimate the value of your people and show them appreciation regularly.
I agree completely with Tony. And one of the things that Kaiser Permanente we're very proud of is our ability to support the community. And with that, as of recently, as of January the 6th, we were able to partner with Dr. Pace in the school system and to provide access to free training, mental health first aid training for all 60 of the school system's social well behavioral specialists. And that training and certification is the top of the line. And we're very proud of that. We're very proud of our partnership with Chair Kalada Harrell of the Board of Commissioners being the presenting sponsor of the inaugural Senior Gala last September, and to allow seniors to have a good night and something to look forward to and to come dressed up in the Great Gatsby theme. So that was so rewarding and so fulfilling. Also, too, we're working in partnership with Chair Harrell and the Board of Commissioners on the inaugural Valor Awards, where we take time and pause and honor public safety, 911, first responders, police and sheriff departments for their heroism and what they're doing in our communities to protect and serve. So we're very proud of our partnerships with local governments and county governments to lend our support whenever we can.
Thank you. Yes, Kaiser Permanente and the Water Authority do a lot in Henry County, so we're very, very thankful in the county for both organizations. For business leaders that are listening to this today, engagement and inclusion are not add-ons, but they're foundational. Thank you to our guest for sharing how smart leadership choices create stronger businesses and communities. And thank you to Kaiser Permanente for supporting conversations that help Henry County move forward.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you for
very
having
much.
us.
Thank you for having us. I would like to say that what really drives people like me and Tony in what we do, I'm reminded of a quote by St. Augustine, and he once put pen to pad and said, "Hope has two beautiful daughters. Their names are Anger and Courage. Anger at the way things are, and the courage to see that these things do not remain as they are. This is a challenge of a lifetime. So what the work that we're doing with the Henry County Water Authority and Kaiser Permanente and other organizations, it takes courage to do it. And I want to thank the Chamber, thank you, Christy, and the Chamber Board and leadership and Joe and his team for having the courage to lead in this community. Thank you so very much for having me.
Thank you.
And now, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta is recognized this episode as our elite highlight. CHOA has long supported the Henry Chamber's programs and services, including Youth Leadership Henry, Women's Empowerment Summit, our annual awards, and so much more. When it comes to caring for kids, CHOA has never settled for just good enough. Every day, they provide nationally ranked pediatric care to Georgia's kids and teens so they can get back to just being kids. And with your support, we're continuing to raise the bar for pediatric care in Georgia for years to come. Thank you, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, for your continued support. So here's your challenge. This month, take a look at your leadership circle, your team, your board, your advisory group, even your informal sounding board. Ask yourself who's in the room when decisions are made, whose perspective is consistently missing, and where might a different lived experience strengthen our outcomes. Then take one intentional step, invite a new voice into the strategy conversation, expand your hiring outreach, and create space for honest feedback. Here's your reflection. If engagement and inclusion are truly foundational, not optional, what would change in how you lead this year? Would your recruitment strategy look different? Would your partnerships shift? Would you measure success differently? Strong communities aren't built by accident. They're built by leaders who understand that diverse thinking drives better decisions.
Ever wonder how your business could be featured right here on the podcast? It's easier than you think. We're offering podcast sponsorships that include shout-outs like this one, a spotlight in our episode description, and the option to record your own or let us read it for you. Want even more visibility? Bundle your podcast with a feature in our Chamber e-newsletter for double your impact. Sponsorships are limited. Email Trinity at tarcher@henrycounty.com to learn more.
Well, welcome back to this episode's Tourism Trends, and we're fortunate to have Laura Luker, Director of Tourism, with us to talk a little bit about EchoPark. But before we get started, Laura, I understand that Nathaniel has some news.
Yes, Nathaniel is getting married.
Well, congratulations to him.
Yes, he doesn't know it yet, so it might be an arranged marriage, but he did find a slipper at the annual meeting.
Nice,
So
nice.
his Cinderella is waiting somewhere.
And so if anybody needs to get more updates on Nathaniel or to follow him, where can they find him?
They can find him on Threads at Visit Henry COGA.
All right. Visit Henry COGA on Threads. Check that out. And we'll be sure to bring you more updates and let you know when the wedding day is scheduled. But in the meantime, let's talk about EchoPark because we've got a big event coming up. And one of the premier venues that we have in attractions in that we have in Henry County.
Absolutely. I mean, every year the Speedway brings in thousands and thousands of visitors from all over the country and in the world. I routinely talk to people from Canada. So
Yeah.
I know that it's not just a U.S. base; it's an international base.
Well, and it's we're there in person for the big race and that, but even to catch it on TV, just to know that that's Henry County is pretty cool.
It's absolutely cool. I mean, we're couldn't be more fortunate to have such an incredible venue located here in Henry. And we are, as you mentioned, always on site. And one of the reasons that we do that is because with the name having been Atlanta Motor Speedway
Right.
previously, people really find themselves believing that they're in Atlanta.
Hard to believe, but
yeah.
yes, it happens.
I mean, it happens every time. And so we like to be on site and say, welcome to Henry County. And then the follow-up is always, where's Henry? And we say, you're in it. But yeah, we are incredibly fortunate to have and to be the home of EchoPark Speedway, and couldn't be more excited to talk about it today.
Well, and I believe this is this our second or third year in partnership with them for the promotion and that?
We have just started our third year.
Mhm. And, that includes the signage and anybody walking through the park that day sees the trolleys, the visitor carts and that, and it's on pillars. Visit Henry. There's even some marquee signage on the walls. What are some of the benefits that we've seen from that?
So we did start in this partnership, as I mentioned, 3 years ago, to help drive home that message, and having the concourse signs and the crash wall signs and all of the other various nods to you are in Henry County right now. Every one of the more static displays, the bathroom mirror clings, the concourse mirrors, the pop-up banners, all have QR codes that link back to specific pages for either the cities or for content. And we can track that. And we, are saying, are you hungry? Here are Henry County restaurants that you can visit. And we can look at that and see that people are engaging with that and hopefully learning more about the area.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. Now, I know that there's a large percentage, I see them there, that they're Henry County residents and that, but let's talk about the tourism impact. Maybe not necessarily the origins, but the drivers that they have, where are they coming from? What percentage of that roughly do we know? And how does that impact our economy locally?
So visitors to the Speedway are, like I said, they're coming from all 50 states. I think the Speedway typically tracks exactly where and how many from each, but it is really incredible. If we look at it with our geolocation data and say, okay, we consider a visitor someone that is coming from more than 50 miles away, and that they're staying at least 30 minutes at the Speedway, and that their home location is not Henry, we're looking and we're seeing over almost 240,000 visits.
Wow.
And that correlates to about 154,000 visitors, individuals who are coming, and they're spending roughly about 5 hours in our market. That also means that they then, are using other services, and we see a huge percentage of those visitors coming from greater than 150 miles away. So it is Georgia sometimes, but it's not just our next door neighbors.
Well, and I think that's a perfect example then from a tourism impact and an economic impact. If more than a third of the visitors to EchoPark are coming from more than 50 miles and a large percentage of those are more than 150, that involves a lot more than just stopping at EchoPark, watching the race, and then going back home.
Oh, absolutely.
What are some of those other impacts that we see then?
So we can tell from our data that a little over 15% come to the Speedway from a hotel, with over 20% coming from, say, a restaurant, a hotel, a fast food restaurant, or maybe a sit-down restaurant. And then those numbers are kind of similar, with 18% going from the track back to a hotel, and about 25, almost 26% leaving the Speedway and going and then eating at a restaurant or a fast food restaurant within the community. So those impacts are being felt outside of the Speedway.
Absolutely. So we all need to give a shout out of thanks to EchoPark for that. Yes, they're buying tickets to the race or to whatever event they're attending at EchoPark, but we're seeing it from our hotels and that, but also restaurant and retail.
Oh, absolutely. Retail too. We see that cross visitation when we look at maybe other attractions or other, say, Tanger, for example. When we look at Tanger's reports and see where people are coming from, the Speedway is one of those things that when they have an event, people want to shop too.
Wow.
So.
Wow. What can our restaurants, our retailers, our other attractions, our hotels, what can they do to help further their economic impact with not necessarily partnering, but how can they get involved with the race weekends and that?
So we want to be, I'd say, considered on par with your Indianapolis, your Daytonas, your Talladegas, who they become a racing city during race weekends. And so one of the ways that our partners can work with them is to put out checkered flags, welcome race fan banners, signs, marquees, offer specific, rates and discounts or promotions geared towards those fans. They want to be welcomed. I mean, we all do, right? We all want to feel special, but there's a specific culture around racing, and they're used to that in some other destinations. So I think that the more we as a community can embrace all that EchoPark and that NASCAR fans do for the community, the more likely they are to come back and to tell other people about their experience.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, if I have a good experience at restaurant X, then when I come back for that race next year, I'm going to make sure that I go back to restaurant X.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we see that and we see it again and again. I mean, the Speedway has grown year over year in visitation for the last 3 years. When they reprofiled the track, it created a really exciting racing experience.
Absolutely.
And so that brought fans who were really excited about the experience that the Speedway was offering. And then as more fans come and they have positive experiences in the community,
Word of mouth.
then they stay. And so it's a powerful tool for us here in the community, and we need to step up, I think, as well, and make sure that they feel welcomed and we're doing our part.
Absolutely. I agree. If anybody wants to discuss opportunities, I know it's getting close to this race, but we've got another one coming up in the summer. What's the easiest way to reach out to the tourism team?
So you can reach out to any of our team by going to tourism at visithenrycountygeorgia.com. All of our personal emails are also on visithenrycountygeorgia.com as well. But if you send it to that tourism at Visit Henry, you're going to get access to all of us, including Nathaniel. If you want to email him directly, you can do that as well.
And he's available for public appearances, is that
He is
correct?
absolutely
Yes.
available for public appearances. He will be at EchoPark coming up. So he's our local celebrity.
And this is Nathaniel's very first race, isn't it?
It is. He was born in May.
Come on out to Echo Park and meet Nathaniel. Before we wrap up, what trends are we seeing with Echo Park? Because I know you mentioned that when they reprofiled it gained some interest.
We were in the concourse greeting fans after that first weekend, and the energy, people coming out saying that they had never experienced a race like that at the Speedway.
It is amazing. Even if you can't be there live, if you see it on TV, you can just see the difference that couple of degrees makes. It's phenomenal, the speed. But what other trends have we seen over the last, 3 years or so since the reprofiling?
So just year over year, visitation traffic increased over 15%. But if you go back 3 years and look, the traffic or visitation has grown over 17, almost 18% of more visits basically to the track. That word of mouth, but also the Speedway does such an incredible job of making it a full weekend worth of activity.
Absolutely.
So you can go and you can have an incredible time from Saturday to Sunday, even if you only have a Sunday ticket.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. And I think, yes, the race is amazing and it's so much fun to watch, but just to see the energy and the number of visitors that are in that space for an entire weekend. I mean, the city of Hampton doubles in size.
It really does. And it's so interesting. I've been out at the track every year for 15, 16 years now. And so I've literally watched some people's kids grow up.
Yeah.
And it is incredible, the fan base that is so loyal. But really one of the incredible things is that we're seeing so many new fans, whereas I used to always see, those people that I knew and recognized, but I'm seeing people that are telling me it's their first race and they're excited.
So let me ask you that, because we're talking about visitors, we're talking about trends, we're talking about ways that the community can get involved and support that to help themselves even. But you're right. Over the past, I've been here 6 years, I guess, 7 years almost. That audience has changed a bit in that time. I mean, there's some affluent consumers there. There's some people that are interested in other things. And I mean, this is an audience that people should want to tap into.
And I think that there is a bit of misunderstanding as to who is a NASCAR fan.
Yeah.
I mean, not that
you're right. We're not saying there's anything negative to this, but it's just that the audience has widened.
It is absolutely wide. And I think it's always been a lot wider than people have given it credit for, but you just see it so much more out in the fan zone.
Yeah.
You will see every age demographic. You will see every racial demographic. You will see families and people who've been coming to NASCAR races for their entire life, and it's generational, as well as, people who are just out there just seeing what it's all about. And it's been so much fun because everybody has this high energy.
Yeah.
Whether they're, lifetime fans or first timers, they are just so excited and the energy is high, and the Speedway does a fantastic job of really cultivating that kind of energy and feeding it. And so that by the time you actually get into the track, you've had several hours of just really high energy fun.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. As we wrap up, one more time, how can people get in touch with the tourism team if they want to know more about how they can partner with us?
So go to our website at visithenrycountygeorgia.com. And unfortunately, that is all spelled
Yeah.
out. There are no shortcuts here. And you can go to our About Us section and you can meet the team, and all of our different emails are there. My personal one is LLUKER at visithenrycountygeorgia.com. And you can reach out, email me, and we'd love to kind of figure out what makes sense for you and for working with the community at large.
Wonderful. Well, Laura, thank you. Appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you next month.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
You've heard about our podcast sponsorships, so why not make it your moment? We'll record your ad, give your business a shout out, and even offer a bundle with our e-newsletter to expand your reach. It's simple, affordable, and built to highlight what makes you stand out. Reach out to Trinity at tarcher@henrycounty.com to get started.
Welcome to a special edition of our Member Minute segment. This episode, we continue our conversation at EchoPark Speedway with Brandon Hutchison, Executive Vice President and General Manager of the Speedway. And stick around afterwards to hear more on our upcoming ribbon cuttings. Well, welcome back to this episode's community highlights, and we're fortunate we have Brandon Hutchison with EchoPark Speedway with us. Welcome back, Brandon.
Thank you so much for having me, Joe. I appreciate the opportunity to come on with you today.
Well, absolutely. First and foremost, congratulations. Elevated to chair of the board last Friday night. So how's the first week going for you?
Well, the first week's been great. I've gotten a lot of congratulations, a lot of people checking in with me, so that's been very nice. Spent what was it, Trinity? Spent about 5 hours at your place earlier this week with the Flex program. Going to make some time to go out to the CVB annual meeting this afternoon. So it's been great. You know, it's with everything going on here. Next weekend is, as you know, the Auto Trader 400 race week.
Right.
So it's a bit busy right now, but something I've looked forward to and just hope that I can meet everybody's expectations.
You are. I promise you the weeks aren't as busy as this week has been going forward. There's going to be a few, but they're not all going to be this way.
This morning, I looked at my calendar, and we've got the executive committee meeting for the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors next Friday, as you know. And so I saw a big block on my calendar for don't do anything. This is a media hold. And so I told my senior director of communications and my assistant, Melissa, I said, I missed the first executive committee meeting of the year. I can't miss the second one of the year and my first one as chair. So we'll see if we can work out a busy race.
Yeah, we can get that figured out. Absolutely. But you mentioned race weekend. And that's coming up quick this weekend, actually, once this drops. And so thank you for taking a bit of time. I just want to get some updates from you and share with the community some of the great economic driver impact that you all have. So let's start with Saturday, if we can, Brandon. And what's on the schedule for Saturday?
Well, I'll tell you, Saturday is the 12th year of our doubleheader. We've got the Freight Racing 208 Craftsman Truck Series race. We've got the Bennett Transportation and Logistics 250, which is the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. And it's one of the few times throughout the NASCAR season where both of those series will race on the same day. And we started doing it 12 years ago. Our fans spoke loud and clear that they loved it. So we continue to do it. So we've got 458 miles of on-track entertainment on Saturday. We'll have the fan zone rocking before the racing action even starts. And after the racing action, we've got the Party in the Peach Pit. So mechanical bulls, laser light shows, cornhole tournaments, Pandora's Box, which is an Aerosmith cover band, is going to be playing. We'll cap the night off with a massive fireworks show. So I would argue that Saturday at EchoPark Speedway is the most entertainment you'll find in a day of NASCAR anywhere on the circuit.
Wonderful. And I know you mentioned Bennett. That's a Henry County business right there. That's a part of this NASCAR weekend. Is that correct?
Bennett Transportation, Marcy Taylor, her daughter Lynette, and just David, the folks that make up that company are first class across the board. I don't want to leave anybody out. I could name the entire company And you just won't find somebody who doesn't have just great focus and a will to be the best. And so to partner with Bennett really is something that we've wanted for a long, long time. They've been partners of ours on a lower level, but to have them now as a NASCAR
Yeah.
race sponsor is special. And what's more is all three of the race sponsors for race weekend this weekend are Georgia-based companies. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's great. And Bennett's driver, Austin Hill, he'll be there Saturday as well, right?
Yeah, Austin Hill, who is the reigning champion of the Bennett Transportation and Logistics 250. As a matter of fact, that dude's won about 4 of those things in a row. He grew up racing on our quarter mile. Austin is a friend of the Speedway. He's been really good for their brand and one who not only will be in the race, but has as good a chance as just about anybody to win the race.
Right. No, that's great. And we'll talk tickets after this, but let's move to Sunday real quick because I know that's a huge day. That's your Auto Trader 400. What did we expect with that?
You know, the weekend culminates with the greatest race car drivers in motorsports. The Auto Trader 400 is just a day that is second to none. We've got the most exciting racing on the NASCAR circuit. We've got 400 miles that's going to unfold in front of the fans that choose to be here and those that choose to watch on TV. But what's more is the fan zone. We've got the fan experience by Cracker Barrel all morning long. It opens up at 9 o'clock. We've got the Drake Milligan concert that's going to be on the fan stage. And we've actually brought the pre-race concert to the fan zone so that everybody who has a ticket to EchoPark Speedway's Auto Trader 400 will have an opportunity to get up close and personal to the Drake Milligan concert. We'll have driver Q&As. We've got sea lions in the fan zone. We've got the canine stars in the fan zone. Who doesn't love animals? So whether you love racing or love animals or love both, we've got something for you here at EchoPark Speedway this weekend.
Absolutely. And I know you had the sea lions last year. Are the canines, is that new this year, or have you had those too?
They're both backed by popular demand.
Okay.
You know, we work real hard to be new, special, and different with everything that we do. But when something hits as well as the doubleheader racing on Saturday, or the Sea Lions, or the Canine Stars, we like to bring them back and make sure that those items our fans love, they can see again and again.
Well, I think that speaks to your belief, because we've talked about this many a time, that give the fans what they want and make them happy and they'll return. And so I think that's very much right up there. If that's what they're looking for, that's what you're providing.
Yeah,
Entertainment.
I'm not ashamed to tell you that we're in business to make money, right?
Yeah.
So we sell to sell again. But we found that one of the easiest ways to do that, Joe, is to do just that. You give the fans what they want. So we do a very thorough survey post-event, the voice of the fan, which gives us a ton of feedback. So it may be I loved the Sea Lions. It might be I love the doubleheader. It might be I hate your infield shower restrooms. It may be I don't like the old school restrooms on concourse. I can assure you that we listen to every ounce of that feedback. And some years we'll put a lot of focus on entertainment. Some years we'll put a lot of focus on the maintenance and upkeep of the facility, but every single year, 100% of our focus is on the fan and the experience that they have, because we want them to come back and we want them to tell their friends.
Well, and we talked to Laura the same episode, and she talks to us about, she tells us about the growth that we've seen over the last 3 years coming out of COVID, with the increase in attendance and traffic and all of that. And so obviously it's working. So thank you.
Well, listen, thank you. And that's due large in part to our partners, right? And it's not just our largest sponsors, whether it's EchoPark Automotive or whether it's Auto Trader or Freight Auctions or Bennett Transportation. It's every level, right? And you know this as well as anybody. So the promotion that the Henry County Convention and Visitors Bureau has given us across the years has been very instrumental in helping us tell a story, helping us be welcoming. I can tell you right now that our team wants to be the most hospitable track on the NASCAR circuit. And we can't do that without good partnerships. And
Absolutely.
Laura Luker and the group over there at the CVB, Joe, is second to none.
I absolutely agree with you. Thank you. Let's go back to Saturday, Brandon. And what time is the first race?
The first race is at 1:30. The Freight Racing 208 is at 1:30. The fan zone will open at 9 o'clock. So fans can get out here as early as they want. We'll have carnival rides. Again, we'll have all the activities in the fan zone to keep them entertained, right up to driver introductions. The second race, the Bennett Transportation and Logistics 250, is at 5 o'clock. That race will take about 2.5 hours. The Party in the Peach Pit going to start about 7:30 or 8 o'clock. We're going to wrap up with a massive fireworks show by about 10:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night, something like that. We'll take a look at the weather and see what's happening and try to keep people out here if it's warm and try to give people an opportunity to get back to the RV if it cools off in the evening. And as we talk about weather, have you seen the weather forecast for this weekend? It's like 72 degrees and sunny. So
Nice.
we've been cooped up in the house for weeks. Hopefully a lot of people will come out and see us.
Well, yeah, it's a good reason to get out. And then race day on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, thanks to Ticketmaster, kids are absolutely free on Friday. Kids are absolutely free on Saturday. Kids are only $10 on Sunday. So the Auto Trader at 400. Fan zone opens up again at 9 a.m. The race itself is at 3 p.m. The Auto Trader 400. It's about a 3.5 hour race. So you can be back home tucked in your bed by 8:30 if you wanted to. I can assure you that we've worked real hard to make sure that any listeners that choose to come to EchoPark Speedway this weekend, we will do everything within our power, and we have done everything in our power to make sure that we give you as much bang for your buck as you will get anywhere in the entertainment industry.
Absolutely. It's always a great time. All right, so let's talk about tickets. Where can they get the tickets?
I would encourage people to go to EchoParkSpeedway.com. They can take a look at the website and find a price point that works well for them and their group. We've got family tickets. We've got tickets for first responders. We've got ticket specials for college students. We've got ticket specials brought to you by GovX for the military men and women that protect our freedoms. We try to make sure that if you want to come to a NASCAR race at EchoPark Speedway, there's a price point that works for you and your family. So you can also find schedules. You can find know before you go tidbits that'll help you in your experience here at EchoPark Speedway. If you'd prefer to talk to somebody live, you can do that. Our ticket agents would love to talk to you. 770-946-4211. So it's going to be a big weekend. We have been preparing since Christopher Bell took the checkered flag in the Auto Trader 400 last year. So can't get here quick enough. Hopefully our listeners will come out and join us.
Well, Brandon, I appreciate you. I appreciate your team out at EchoPark and everything that you guys do. And thanks for the time. I look forward to seeing you this weekend.
Well, as always, thank you so much for the opportunity. Every little bit helps, and it's going to be a fun weekend here at EchoPark Speedway.
My pleasure. Looking forward to it. Thank you. We'll be right back. Now celebrate with us at our upcoming ribbon cuttings. On February 20th at 10 a.m. for Fifth Third Bank. On March 4th at 11 a.m. for Fat and Trina's Bargain Depot. March 6th at 11 a.m. for Bank OZK Jodico. March 11th at 11 a.m. for Lennar Homes. March 20th at 10 a.m. for The Little Standard. And March 27th at noon for Honeybee Pediatrics. Are you a new member or need a refresher? Join us on February 26th for the member onboarding experience to help understand the benefits and connections that come with your chamber membership. Interested in hearing more about our members? Check out our member news section on our website. And now for some upcoming events. Join us February 17th for Henry Day at the Capitol. The Chamber and Henry County government engage with the Henry County Legislative Delegation and assemble for a group photo on the Capitol steps. On February 19th at 11:30 a.m., SBDC Building Business Acumen from Insight to Impact, Financial Fundamentals for Non-Financial Leaders. Join Richard Schnicker with the SBDC for a 60-minute educational class focused on building confidence to read the numbers that drive your business. On February 24th at 11:30 a.m. is our Core Collective Midday Matchup. This isn't networking, it's an alignment, accountability, and action. Join us to engage in guided, purpose-driven conversation, learn how to make an inner circle work the right way, and be thoughtfully matched into a core collective built for challenge, support, and growth. This is for leaders and entrepreneurs with a growth mindset, whether you're a Henry Hub member or a Standard member. Join us on February 25th at 11 a.m. for Understanding City of Atlanta Contracting and Certification Opportunities. Join us to learn the role of the Office of Contract Compliance, get an overview of City of Atlanta certification programs, and hear benefits of being city certified in the certification process and requirements. On February 26th at 5:30 is our Business After Hours at Creekside Christian Academy and the Student Entrepreneur Flexpo. Join us for an evening of networking and celebrating Creekside Christian Academy and for the opportunity to meet our top high school student entrepreneurs in our Flex program. February 27th at 10 a.m., join us for the EBLP networking event. Join the Chamber's Emerging Business Leaders program for a drop-in networking hour at SDK's Cafe and Coffee. This is your chance to shape what's next. The program will be collecting questions, ideas, and real-life challenges to help guide our upcoming April panel on networking for introverts. If you've ever wondered how to network, where to start, or how to do it without feeling awkward, this is your moment to speak up. On March 5th at 8 a.m., join us for the 8th Annual Women's Empowerment Summit. This is where momentum meets meaning as the Chamber's Women Leadership Council kicks off Women's Month with a can't-miss summit focusing on power and progress, women leading what's next, from influence to impact. Don't miss the chance to hear from dynamic keynote speakers, an accomplished power panel, and for a chance to support local women-owned businesses through our Empower Her Expo. Tickets are on sale now. Sponsorship and expo spots are still available. Don't miss this chance to honor progress while actively shaping the future. For more Chamber events and information on how to register, visit the Chamber calendar on our website. If you are interested in discussing membership benefits or sponsorship opportunities, please connect with our team at 770-957-5786 or at henrycounty.com. We will return in 2 weeks with a SPLOST update as well as our catalytic conversation and details on thriving Henry leaders. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and follow the Henry County Chamber of Commerce on social media for updates and upcoming events. Until next time, stay connected, stay inspired, and keep growing with us at the Henry County Chamber.